All right, so they wanted to have to put butterflies on your cheeks.
Yes.
So why? What happened?
On my
What's
eye.
the story? On your eye.
On my eye. So some of our friends throw this little party.
Mm-hmm.
So you know when there are friends of friends and you are the stranger in the middle trying to kind of acclimatize with the whole situation.
What was the party about?
Well, it was just like, you know how new for people for like their...
For what?
This is a very complicated story. Well, one of our friends is starting her own business.
Okay.
She starting to sell merches and stuff.
Ooh.
So she just decided to throw a party because of that, because she's doing well.
All right.
And
because she's doing well.
She's doing well. And you know, it was just like not like a big thing. It was just like, you know, group of friends hanging out. And you know, like there's always someone who can draw and do all these artistic things and wants to force you to do these.
Yeah.
So I was kind of forced into it.
But you don't have butterflies on your eyes.
No, thankfully I don't. Yeah.
You didn't accept, or did you remove them?
I was like, no, thank you, because I already have a sensitive skin, so having I don't know what type of colors was that, chemicals on my face is a very bad idea.
Yeah. So what's up, Malak? How are you?
I am great today.
Yes.
We almost didn't make it.
I think every podcast that I do is a podcast that I almost don't do. Yes.
But ours is like, you know, 3 times canceling. This is like finally it.
Yes. It was a long time coming.
Yeah.
So tell people who are listening, tell them who you are and what you do, and tell them a bit about your interests.
Okay, so let me first introduce
myself. I think this is the longest introduction that's going to happen.
Oh my god, yeah. But like first, let me introduce myself as you introduce me. So hi, my name is Malak, and I'm Amin Rahmani's student, and everything I know in life he taught me. This is how he introduces me to people. I'm Malak Azala. I'm a science student. And I do a lot of things.
Science student. So in high school.
Yeah, in high school.
Right, yeah.
And I do a little bit of everything in life. So I'm a journalism student also. I study journalism. And
where do you study journalism? Not in university, right?
No. It's a course. Basically, it's in a digital platform named WBC.
All right.
I've been studying that for like 3 years now, and it has been like a journey, and I'm very proud of it. So I study journalism because actually there's nothing that interests me more than that. I love
nothing at all.
No, a lot of things. I love doing a lot of things, you know that, but like, you know, this one thing since I was little that I love doing is like journalism and everything about it. Well, when I started like getting deeper in this field, I realized that the only issue about it is that you don't have as much freedom as you think you do, especially in Algeria. Like, you think you can say a lot of things and talk about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, you have like an agenda and you have a very strict rules to follow. A
problem that journalists find in Algeria is that a lot of subjects that need to be talked about don't interest people. So
they don't. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to, you know, somehow to make something work, you have to understand the mentality of who's
so you need to adjust to the mentality of the people.
Like that. So I don't think Algerian people would be interested to, you know.
What would you want to be a journalist about? Like, what are the subjects that you would like to write about or talk about as a journalist?
Okay, so I feel like the thing I focus about a lot, so you know, every time they would give us a task to do, whether outdoors or like inside the school, and I always talk about education. Always, like about...
So you care about education?
A lot. It's very important. And when I say education, I don't mean education just at schools, because even that has an issue all around the world, you know. But specifically like... at schools, but then outside also, like we don't quite value education. You don't need to go to school and stay in like a boring, you know, class to learn new things. But I feel there are a lot of issues about education in Algeria, so I always try to talk about it and like share my perspective about education.
Yeah, on this podcast, we trashed a lot about the education system in Algeria. But are you talking specifically about the education system, or are you also talking about how people get educated by society and by their own parents, etc.?
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
And you know what's the issue is that whether we realize this or no, but schools do kind of prepare us to a world that doesn't exist anymore. If you ask your mother, Mom, what did you study in middle school? What did you study in middle school? It's the same thing I'm studying now. And I can assure you, like, okay, the titles maybe changed a bit. They keep changing whether we should say al-mushkil or al-ishkaliya, but no one really changes, like, the problem, the heart of the problem. No one touched that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, it makes me feel like
when I was kind of your age, I had always thought that history has to be old. It has to be ancient. And if it's not something that happened at least in the 60s, it can't be history. But then I realized that I'm giving an example by history. So I realized that even if something happened yesterday, it can already be history, right? So if, for example, the coronavirus that happened in the world, this is already part of history. But we will never study about it in schools, right? You know, like, although it's more relevant than World War II today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a question I always ask my history teachers, and I think they just don't know how to answer this one. But what I hate is you put me in school and you tell me these are the characters, this is the dates you need to memorize, this is all you need to memorize, but then you don't tell me what do I need to learn from it. Like, okay, history, I understand, a person did something great that we're not even sure, it's not like overrated, like we're not sure, I understand, but not ending it with a conclusion, just like you add maths with conclusion and science with conclusion, or what I should learn from it. Like the point, that I don't understand that part. Because what's more important than me memorizing, like, okay, I might get like 5 in the test, but I learned something really. Like, it's true, I don't remember the dates, and I don't remember the character who did that, but I'm quite sure if you made it a bit interesting and you gave me more things to kind of learn from it in terms of wisdom, or what do I need to learn from others' mistakes, even politicians or whatever.
I have an example about this actually. I was teaching in Algiers, and one of my students was like 25 years old or something, so she was way past the education system. She was about to graduate university. And she said that my hero is Adolf Hitler. And the problem here is that, like, we kind of studied World War II, right? In high school and in middle school. So how come you aren't horrified by the idea of Adolf Hitler? This is like very weird, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't really learn the lessons from history.
Exactly. And also, we don't care about the creative side of a student, because it's easy for me to go home and memorize all this information. But why don't you try to ask me what's my perspective, or what's my idea, like what did I learn from this? Or, like
what do you think about this?
I'll be educated the same way. Maybe like I will get even more important information and even more like knowledge, but in a more fun way, an interesting way. And this is not very hard to accomplish, because if you think about it, it's just like if you're the richest person in the world, and you decide to buy a car, like you're the first person that bought a car in the world. But then you are too rich to drive it, so you want a driver, right? So you pay another person, and this is all the budget, just education budget, right? And you pay another person to learn how to drive it, but you teach them how to drive a bicycle. How are they going to become your drivers? It totally doesn't make sense.
Nice analogy.
You're going to waste money anyways. So why don't you just make it a bit interesting? And also, there's this theory. It's called the golden circle. It's about marketing and how to sell something. Now, the first rule is to understand how a human brain works. So I would tell you, buy this book. Or, you know, the best example is the rulers, you know.
Yeah.
I tell you, buy this ruler. You know, one of these plastic rulers?
Yeah.
I tell you, buy it. It's pink.
The ones that bend.
Yeah, exactly. These ones. So I tell you, buy this ruler. It's pink. It's beautiful. You're going to be like, okay, whatever. I tell you, buy it because it bends. It's flexible. You're not going to need to buy your son a new one every day because they're going to break it. Now you'll be like, okay, interesting. Same. And this is why is this important, is because our brain kind of reacts to why more than anything else.
Ooh, okay.
So I tell you why you should buy it, not I tell you just
what it is.
What it is, because that's not interesting. I can see this and be like, oh, this is a book. But if I tell you anything you write in this book, I don't know, will kind of fade, and you'll be the only person that will be able to see it by glasses, you know, something like that. You'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Same way, you need to give me a why as a student. You know, you're not giving me a why. You mean
why you're learning this?
No, but like, why should I?
Why should you learn
like
this?
if I you tell me learn this because you need to memorize it, I'd be like, boring. You tell me learn this because you're gonna learn something from it. You know, like you're gonna be more mature, maybe your perspective about something will change. I'll be like, oh, this is interesting. And what's more important than this is to understand also how the brain works. Because here's the thing, sometimes when I see something, I understand it. I don't need you to explain it to me. And this is for like just some of the students. For others, you need to write. For someone else, they need to touch that thing to understand what it is. And in Algeria, I'm a science student, and we don't do any experiments or like not even the simplest things. At all.
Like قذيفة, we don't do قذيفة في الساحة.
We do nothing.
Why don't we do قذيفة في الساحة? Like نتيريو حجر ونوليو students like this is قذيفة. This is what happens.
That's actually exactly like that. So, but here's the thing. As an educator, like as a teacher, I also need to give you the environment to work. You don't need to, like, sometimes our teachers are like obliged to throw objects in the air to make us kind of understand the lesson. Why don't you, I don't know, invest a bit and like give them the right atmosphere to teach their students? Because I need to see to know, you know, like one of the most effective things plans I used to follow to memorize my lessons is imagining them. So I don't like kind of memorize everything. I imagine like a map, you know. And when I'm like whatever in a test or anything like that, I remember. So you see, I like to visualize things. So why don't you help me out like that? So لو كان نشوف أنا حاجة in the classroom, I'm quite sure I'm gonna remember it the day of the test, you know. So it's kind of a bit
like for example chemistry lessons, we talk about elements, and not elements but chemical components, and we never actually see them. We never smell them. We never touch them. We never like see their color.
Imagine if you teach me what it is, and then you leave me with all these equipments, and I get to touch these and smell them and remember.
Yes, and actually put them together and see them transform.
And see, exactly.
Like a friend of mine is actually making this package where you find all the chemical components that are talked about on middle school books.
Really?
Yeah. And he's selling them to private schools where they show the students like, this is what we are actually talking about, and this is the actual experiment that you can do on your table or at home. So while you're doing the exercise, while you're fusing these two chemical components on paper, you're also doing it in real life, and in real life is actually what matters.
Exactly like that. Exactly, that's what I mean. We really need to work on that. And what's funny is that we have an equipments, like, you know, when you count all the equipments in the high school, these are the ones that one classroom should be using. You know what I mean? Like, so the same amount of I don't know any chemicals that
we are kind of a poor country. Like I'm gonna excuse our country for not being able to give one microscope for every student. Like, okay, I understand it's pretty expensive. However, I think learning, even without a telescope, even without a microscope, without tools, etc., can be way more entertaining.
Of course, yes.
Like why? It's as if as soon as you get into the classroom, entertainment becomes a sin.
Exactly like
this
that.
Is the thing. Yeah,
that's the problem. That's the problem, and especially when you're talking about teenagers and children. You know, like it kills creativity, you know, because at some points I'm telling you, okay, go to school so that you can get a good marks and then find a good job and get married. That's it. Like, this is how I am, like, kind of preparing you for life.
And then they don't even prepare you that well for that.
Yeah, they prepare your brain to kind of put you inside a box, like, okay, this is how your life should be like.
Yes.
That's why we are the 95% of the society, like, you know, so whatever, you need to get good grades, like, every time, that's it. No one tells you you should do what you really love, you should be more creative, you should find, you know, and it's,
I graduated university three years ago. And now I'm thinking about those 3 years since I've left university.
Yes.
And the things that I have learned since I stopped since I left or graduated university, the things that I've learned, the evolution that I experienced, is astonishing for me. Like, I've learned so much.
Exactly.
Since I finished university, I had so many great experiences. Like, for example, so in university as an engineering student, we learned quantum mechanics. Really, we didn't really learn quantum mechanics. We learned how to solve equations that we never remembered after the exam. Right.
Exactly. That's another problem.
We didn't learn, but we went through quantum mechanics and heat transfer, for example, and a few other things. I have studied mathematics all my life, since I was 5 years old till I was 25, right?
Yes.
So it's like a long time. Every year I have at least one mathematics subject to study. And I always hated it, and not that I hated mathematics. I didn't like brand myself as someone who hates mathematics, but I never enjoyed it in the classroom. And whenever I think about mathematics, I think about the exams that I have to prepare for. And now that I don't have exams anymore, I go to YouTube and I review, like par hasard, the stuff that I went through in university, and they're fascinating.
Exactly.
They really, really are.
Exactly,
and I think,
like
how could they make this thing this boring? Right. And same
yeah.
thing with physics, and same thing with lots of other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, in the start of each maths unit, you have like 2 papers in the book about who actually found out this or made the first theory about this. They never talk about this.
They never. Yes.
And I ask them every time, and they're like, not important. I need to like, I have we don't have time, and you know.
Yeah.
So what's the point if you don't have time and you're running and you're telling me? You're not giving me the foundation I need. Like, why? You're not giving me the why again. Why should I study this? Why is it fun?
Yeah.
Why would I find this
another incredible example that I just thought of now is في terminal you study عندكم شغل unité كبيرة طويلة على radiation.
Okay.
Which is
physics, right?
Yeah, physics. Radiation, which is تقرأ على carbon 14. No. الإشعاع.
Yeah, that's
طاقة الإشعاع. Yes. So إشعاع. Yes, you study radiation, and I remember when I was passing my bac, when I was on my baccalaureate year, I remember بدينا نحلوا les exercices, etc. And then I turned to my classmate and I told her, hey, what the hell is this? Like at that point, we did not really have internet or really good TV channels or anything. So I really did not know. At 18 years old or 17 years old, I had no idea what radiation was. Although it's like it's such a huge part of life, right? Today, of modern life, at least.
Or today, it's one of like the powers.
Yes.
The most powerful countries in the world.
Yes, they control radiation, right?
Yeah.
So Katli, I have no idea. And she was an excellent student. She was like one of the best, and she had like a really good mark in that subject. فهذاك الunité هذيك درنا فرض ولا examen. She had a good mark, but I was like, hey, but what is radiation? Like, what are we talking about here? قالت لي I have no idea. قالت لي I really don't know. قالت لي بصح مهم we have to نجيبوا الباك. See what I mean? And why didn't you start the course with like 10 دقائق احكي لنا على Chernobyl?
Exactly.
Right, احكي لنا باللي فوالا روس at some point تفقد centrale nucléaire and people were exposed to radiation and they did not know, because كيما أنا هذاك الوقت I did not know what it was, so they did not know that by touching this rock they're gonna die.
They're gonna die, yeah.
Yeah, in a week.
Yeah, maybe they thought it's like a curse. They, you know.
Yeah.
But they never knew it was radiation.
Well, at that moment when it had just exploded, they took their children to see like the fireworks and the beauty of the colors, etc.
Oh no.
Yes, because they did not know what radiation is.
Yeah.
وبالك جماعة منهم جايبين الباك parce que USSR is not that much better than us, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And they did not know it was a dangerous thing. وإحنا قريناها وكشو درنا لي تيست etc. ولينا نعرفوا نحسبوا بالكربون 14 شحال حاجة قديمة. But then we did not know it was a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I find this completely crazy.
Mind blowing, right?
Yeah.
This is like what I was talking about, exactly like that. So you need to give me a why always. I am that type of people. Maybe we're not all like that.
Yeah.
But I am that type of people. Just give me a why. And I'll do that, or I'll learn that with pleasure, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine if you think like الكور هذا اللي راح تقراه ما تقراهش عاجل الباك. اقراه because it actually can save your life.
Can save your life
or your family's life. Yes.
Or maybe you can just see it and be like, oh, I know this. Like, you know, maybe a lot of people here don't know what that actually is, but I do. You know, like it's a good feeling, and you need to give me a why. We need to like. You know. Yeah.
I think education or classrooms. By the way, I told you that these last few years I've learned a lot.
Yes.
And basically I've been through all of the aspects of modern physics. Just because I am into that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Because I like physics, because I'm passionate about it, etc. So I actually took one book to go through everything.
Yeah.
This book that summarized everything that we know about physics.
I think you suggested to me.
Did I?
What is the book?
Not reality is not what it seems.
Not reality, yeah.
No, it was Welcome to the Universe by Neil deGrasse Tyson and some other authors.
Okay.
Yes. So like this is the universe.
Welcome
like
to the universe,
this is everything you need to know.
Now this is interesting. This is a why.
Yes.
Welcome to the universe.
Yes,
you know?
yes. Like if you're gonna live here,
you need to know
these are like the rules of the game, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And I read this book. Although it went into details about nuclear reactions and other things, etc., and it had no pictures in it, or if it did, I don't remember, and there were very, very few. But it was super, super fun reading through it. Like a lot of fun. So how could a book be more fun than being in a classroom with a lot of mates and an adult with us? An adult with you, yeah. How could that be more fun? Right, I am alone.
Studied for like 5 years to come here and teach you.
Yeah.
And have been teaching for like years and years.
Yeah, and by the way, that book has equations in it.
Really?
And they explain equations. Like this is what this like this is MC square, and this is like the root of that equation, and this is what it means, and this is what it goes, etc., etc. And it's more fun than being in a classroom with lots of people. With I don't know. I find this completely crazy.
And
I don't
you know,
understand.
in science, for example, we are studying now about the work of hormones, insulin and glucagon and all these.
Yes.
And I swear to God, it's one of the most, like, it's so simple, it's so beautiful, but we had to go like you can do this in like 3 sessions. We went on like 15 sessions to, I don't know, like to do this.
Yeah.
So we would study for 3 hours about something that's so simple that you can just tell me what it is and then just give me more information. But we just go in circles. I just like they drive me insane when it comes to this, because you tell me what something is and then you tell me, now forget about it, this is what it actually is. And that is mind-blowing. Like, why would you do that to me? Just give me straight up the information, I'll understand. Like this is an experiment that I'll remember, and this is like what I need to know. So they drive me in like circles, and I'm like, oh come on, this is what it is. It was so easy like that. Like, you know, so it's kind of
and how come we don't have workshops in in schools? This is weird. We could have like 2 hours of workshops every week. Like do an interesting workshop, and a workshop that is related to whatever we are studying. How come we don't learn navigation في الجغرافيا.
Yeah.
How come we don't learn how to find yourself on the earth?
Yeah, on earth. If
on
I'm
earth.
studying geography,
yes.
yeah.
وعلاش I did this workshop with three professors in some university in Holland who came to CRAG, which is Centre de Recherche تاع Astronomia et Géologie.
Okay.
Something like that. في بوزريعة. And they taught us how to use an Astrolabe. Okay. Do you know what an Astrolabe is?
No.
You don't have your phone on you. I'm gonna show you what an Astrolabe is. Give me a second. Yeah, so they taught us how to make an Astrolabe and how to use them to find yourself. Use it like a GPS. Like wherever you are in the world, you can use an Astrolabe to find yourself in the world, right?
Really?
And if you know where you are, you can use an Astrolabe to know exactly by the second what time it is.
Really?
Yes. And
so you can like bring time and place together.
Because time and space is the same thing.
Yeah.
So Astrolabe. And Astrolabes are really, really beautiful. So the thing is, these are Astrolabes. I don't know if you can see them like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And from the design style, you can see that it is actually a Muslim-related thing.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it.
Yeah.
Like something from the golden ages that they stole from us.
Absolutely, yes. So
one of these things.
Yeah, they told us that a lot of Astrolabes they have been using originated from Algiers. So our ancestors used to make Astrolabes and they used to use them to navigate, etc. But we don't know anything about them. And these were like this is like the first GPS, and this is the first atomic clock, and this is the first. Why don't we do workshops about these in schools? Why I don't know. I find the whole education system thing very weird.
Very weird. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Because we don't take time to actually think about it. A lot of people don't. They just wake up in the morning, wash their face, and go to school because they have to get a good mark for their finals. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, and to be honest, when I realized that we could actually use just a plaque to understand where we are in the world, I thought we needed satellite.
Yeah, same here. That's the first thing.
Turns out our ancestors were way comfortable with understanding where we are in the world, like very easily. Like you could be lost in the sea, and you would be like, okay, Madrid is not Madrid, but like Spain or Portugal is 50 kilometers away, so we go this way.
Oh my god, yeah.
Cool, very, very cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, how come we don't study astronomy
How come we don't study astronomy, yeah.
This is also very, very weird to me.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Because again, it's old. It's like أنا هدور على نظام تعليمي من العصر الزراعي, you know.
But even
so crazy, you know.
Even عصر الزراعي, there used to be astronomy even then.
Yeah, but it is not like advanced at all. They don't take time to تعود all the work, you know. We are a whole different generation. Everything is different, you know. You need to prepare me. I'm not asking you to prepare me for real world, like literally, but at least, you know.
How come in history, in the history class, why don't we learn about the history of computers, for example? Like how did the computer come to be?
And you know, we always study about, for example, Malak and I and we study them every year.
And it doesn't help.
Every year,
yes.
Every year. And if you ask me when did it happen, I'm like, you know, like I don't know, forget about it. I don't want to know like anymore. Because it's literally the same thing every time, every year, same.
Yeah. I was so bored with Tariq, geography. I was so extremely bored.
Actually, me too, until I started just like going to Google and studying on it my own terms. And then when a teacher tells me this is not what's in the copybook, I'm like, but it is on Google, so whatever. Like I like to give my opinion. I always start my answer with I think or I realized and I'm like, you know what, do whatever you want. Give me a 0, but I've learned something after all, you know. So that's
Did you learn English in school?
No. No. Okay. No.
This is what I mean. This is what I know.
Didn't help a bit, you know.
Yeah. I'm at the age of 28, and I consider myself as at least I know more about physics than I thought what I would know at the age of 28. Right. So at least this is like a small achievement. And I did not learn what I know about physics from school. I did not. Yeah. Like I just didn't.
And also me with English, it's a whole different story.
Yes, and it's the same thing with everything.
With everything.
With everything. Not just English. Yes, English could be obvious because you can speak it. You can't speak physics all the time.
But
you can speak English all the time. When you ask whoever talks English, when you ask them, where did you learn English? They never tell you at school. Although they study from Sana Rabah.
You know, I always say this. Like, how did you fail in 9 years to make me fluent in this language?
9 years, yeah.
French and English, and like why gotta be like that? The French teacher would be talking to everyone. Is like,
imagine
oui.
You studied English in my class, right?
Yeah,
imagine you studied 9 years in my class. I mean, I wasn't really doing lots of effort.
Actually, like when a teacher is like, for example, like you.
Could you like put no pop up هذاك حطيه شوية. Yeah, very حطيه.
هكا.
زيدي شوية. All right, wait. Yeah, cool.
So, in your class, for example, we were never bored. I was never bored. It was like, for me, like it was like therapy.
A fun thing to do.
A fun thing to do, you know. I can just come here and we would talk about all different things. And so this is what I mean. Like, we're not inside a box. That's the thing.
Although we were literally inside a box.
Yeah, like literally.
But it didn't really feel like that.
Exactly like that. Because if like, even if the topic is not boring, but like a bit common, we would make it much fun.
Yes.
Even though sometimes we'd be talking about like sports, and then boom, we're talking about, I don't know, anything like completely random. But it was so much fun, and I think we've learned a lot of things that I never thought that I'd be learning in English class. You know,
I really think if our education system was a bit better, we would have a better people.
Exactly, of course.
Yes. Algeria would be like so much into technology, and our economy would be much better, and stuff like that. If you, we were talking about journalism, and if you can't branch Nahal TV, who actually try to adjust themselves to like the most number of people that could watch their channel.
Yes.
So the level of the stuff that they talk about is archaic. See what I mean?
Yeah, you know, actually, a lot of people don't know that by you turning on the TV and turning the channel to Nahar or any other channel, you are actually letting a force inside your house. You're not realizing this, but you're letting something really big. We don't realize this because it's a common thing to talk to television, but it's actually a power.
It's educating your children.
Yeah, government uses like not against, but on that side.
Not even government. Like sometimes whoever has a political agenda.
Now, why do I say that? Because once we were in Maison Jeune, and we had this party there and everything. It was about Algeria. It's supposed to be about a little bit about Hirak, a little bit about everything. And there were a lot of people that like politicians and important people. Now there were two journalists, very famous ones, one from Shorouk and one from, I believe, Bidat, something like this, but they're very famous in Algeria. And they
were famous because they talked about Houarid Van Bar.
I think, something like, you see, that's now wait, I'm coming, huh? And then we were inside the room, couldn't do la répétition d'Anna, everything was all right. So they wanted to sing, there's a group, they wanted to sing واحد الأغنية, I guess Soul King, something like this. So it's about I don't know, it's بصح sur la liberté, I guess it's called. So there's a part where they say احنا هم الابتلاء يا حكومة, you know. And they were like, shh, what are you talking about? سكتوا بالك وديروا هدية. ياش تقريب حصلونا بدأوا يضحكوا. They were like, don't. If you sing this, don't do this at all. قالوا نحيا من الأغنية خلصتوا ما خرجوا. Can you imagine, just like that? They were like, برا. Like, they didn't do their at all. You don't like, it's a whole planned thing. And what you think you're seeing as a live, sometimes it's not live. What you think you are seeing as a spontaneous thing, what you think is not scripted, it is scripted. You think they are guests who they asking them questions, no, they prepared the questions. You know, like you discover a lot of things, and they don't make you actually feel bad about journalism, but you feel like you want to change it. You feel like you want to do something about it, you know. But
yeah, you remind me, when you talk about journalism, you remind me of Lois Lane, Superman's wife. Who was a journalist. Yes, and she was like very into against propaganda and against and she used to seek the truth. Although she was putting her life in danger and things like that.
So actually it's just like that. You have to, like journalism, you have to make a lot of risks. In terms of not risks in terms of like because this is what Algerian people are like into, but in terms of like intention, it's all about intention, like intention to kind of change something. Because as a journalist, if you write like anything, for example, an article about a hole in your I don't know, in the street, and they actually come to fix it, you feel like it's an achievement. If you know what I mean, like it's that حاجة في حياتي, just like that. So can you imagine if you become someone who has this power? It is a power that we let inside our houses, but we don't actually realize that.
And today, not everyone that studies journalism or not. If you want to do journalism, you don't have to be accepted by the paper. And you don't have to like be accepted by the radio or TV,
etc. You
can
start a visual blog.
You could just start an Instagram account.
Instagram account. YouTube,
and you're a journalist. See what I mean? This is what I think. This is very, very cool about the times that are coming. This is democratization of media, and anyone can report.
Anyone
can be like, hey, there's a pothole in my neighborhood. And the authorities aren't doing anything about it. Right, and put it on Facebook, and it's gonna have like 2,000 views, etc. And I think it wasn't like monitored or anything, but I think we are at the point of time where Algerian YouTube content has more views than TV.
Of course, yes. That's why you see that now. Like commercials, like this whole commercial like for products or anything like that, it's actually giving them more opportunities as a YouTuber. You know, like it's like giving them more budget to do something even more creative. Because here's the thing, I can give you my product نخلصك مليار باش تجوزوه لي في العشان تاعك, and everyone will be like switching les pubs. Par contre تكون a YouTuber that the followers trust, and boom, 1 million views, it's better than 1 milliard views, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. This is like the thing that influencers, they tell you, hey, buy this camera, I've actually used it and it's actually good, right? And it's better than just a commercial a la camera. I heard this story from Twitter where some Kardashian girl tweeted that the Astral people are using Snapchat, and Snapchat came down and people deleted the app, the stocks went way down, and the company is on the verge of it's gonna close just because of one tweet from a celebrity.
It's very powerful.
It's a lot of power. It's
very powerful. Exactly. Now the Kardashians are more powerful than, I don't know, like, I kid you not,
more powerful than our country.
Our country. Just like that. Just like that.
I'm talking militarily.
I am 16. I can't go to jail, thank God. So you're risky.
I'm the one who can go to jail. And you speak, how many languages do you speak?
Bismillah.
So this is one of the nice things about having you on my podcast, is that usually I prepare like a few questions to start the conversation, right? And some people ask like 5 questions during 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
With you, I asked you just one question and you're doing 40 minutes already.
That's, I told you, if I swear to God, if you leave us like that,
yeah,
we're just gonna stay
here. We can
here.
do 5 hours.
We can do 5 hours, yeah 5 hours.
So
how many languages do I speak?
The only question that I asked you is, what is introduce yourself?
And I didn't even introduce myself.
Not even finish introducing yourself.
Oh my God, I barely introduced myself. But how you introduce me is like
it's pretty accurate.
It's accurate, yeah, very accurate. So
tell me about the languages that you speak.
So the first, okay, what about I say something in every language?
Tell me, before you do that, I would like you, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
But tell me the story that happened to you during confinement period, where you went into Topshop, which is Centre Commercial, and then what happened?
Okay, so I don't know if you're talking about meeting the Indian guy, like Telia.
I don't. How many times did this happen to you?
No. Actually, here's the thing. There are two stories that happened to me in Topshop that I'll never forget in my life. So the first one was actually in my first year of high school, which was last year, and I met an Indian family. So I knew that there were a lot of Indians in Blida times. I've never met an Indian person, like personally a native speaker. Now I met this group of people that I thought, like, I just saw them and I thought, oh, an Indian family. But once I got to talk to them, they were actually engineers working for a hospital in Algiers. And they came to Blida and everything. And I was looking at them. Here's how I kind of got in conversation with them. They were trying to speak English to tell the saleswoman that we need this. we need the headphones. That are like I don't, not headphones, what they're called, these like headphones, stabilizers thing, you know?
Gimbals or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I was looking at them and I was like, should I talk to them or no? And then I just went for it. And I was like, hello, are you from? Just like that. Hello, are you from? And they were like, we are from India. And they said it in a very Indian
dialect
accent. Yes. And I was like, oh, that's so cool, and I really love India. And they were like, yeah, really, thank you. And then I was like, straight up, I was like, aur mujhe Hindi bol rahi hu. It means I speak Hindi. And they just opened their eyes like that.
Wow.
And they were like, what? And then he was like, sach mein? It means really? I was like, yes, really. And then we had this conversation for like an hour. Like
a part of the conversation in Indian.
Yeah.
Could you do that?
Oh.
Reproduce part of the conversation in Indian.
For example, one of the parts are what I love about India. They asked me, what do you love about India? And the first thing I said, mujhe khana bahut pasand hai. It means the Indian food. I love Indian food a lot. Yeah. Because I love spicy food, and Indian food is just perfect for that. Yeah. And also I said that मैं आपका देश है बहुत प्यार करती हूँ क्योंकि हमारा culture में ये सब बहुत अलग है. It means I love your country a lot because it's quite different from ours. It's like a whole other kind of you know, traditions. Everything is different about everything is different about India. Yeah. And I hate how Algerian people really all what Algerian people know about India is the Abdul Bagar, which is not even true.
Okay.
It's not even true.
I thought it was.
No, what they believe is that when some of the good people, it depends on the mythology, but in general, if you are a good person and you die, you turn to a cow. Your spirit kind of...
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So what they do is they kind of respect them a lot. They respect animals in general a lot, and especially cows. Because of their mythology.
They used to be good people.
Yeah, so they used to be good people. It's a mythology. Actually, what's also very interesting is a lot of mythologies, like the Greek mythology, they disappeared, right?
Yeah.
The Indian mythology it exists, and it's Hindu, and it's one of the most like powerful religions in the world. Not powerful, but like I think most popular, and a lot of people follow it, you know. Yeah. And it's crazy. And even like everything that's becoming trendy now, meditation, people think it's cool. Like I meditate. It's an Indian thing. Yeah. Indians meditate ever since, like, you know, they meditate.
And they float on the air when they do that.
مصداقية.
the pop-up.
Where is المصداقية يا جماعة? Yeah, well actually here's the thing about medication. يا ودي medications.
Yeah.
عشان احنا نهضروا by the way.
44 minutes. We're just not even halfway there.
Oh my god. So the fun thing about meditation is it helps you to understand what your brain is actually trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you, we are always in a fight with our subconscious and our conscious. It's always a fight. I want this, but I'm going to do this, like Mali. So despite the fact that I want this, I'm going to do something else.
Right.
You know, and it helps you to see it. I sometimes like to meditate like in the morning, like when I first wake up. In my bed, straight up. Why? Because when I envision my day, like, okay, this is what I want to do, it becomes much easier. I save a lot of time. Like 5 minutes of meditation, it can save like 1 hour of my day.
I see. Like 5 minutes of meditation makes you like organize your thoughts better.
Yes.
So you don't waste time.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when I came to the studio to do the podcast with you, I actually came and then I realized that I forgot my coffee shop. This is a coffee shop.
Holder shop, yeah.
Holder, whatever. Yeah. And so I had to get back in the car, go back home, get my coffee cup, and then come back to the studio. So if I had meditated like for 30 seconds, I would have remembered.
You would have remembered.
Yes,
and also, you know how food is for your stomach and your brain, whatever. Meditation is for your soul.
Come on, it gives energy to your soul.
Not energy, but it's like it kind of it becomes more clean, and it doesn't matter how. Like a lot of people don't respect or actually even think about the importance of the spiritual side of us. It's very powerful. That's why we pray, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Pray is a lot of people think, oh, I need to do this because I'm Muslim.
When you're very, very busy in life and when you're trying to get to somewhere like career-wise, etc., you start thinking that praying is a waste of time. Like I could be working instead of praying right now. It's all about
it's all about you know. It's
but
all
is that
about,
true? I don't think it is.
It's not at all. It's all about developing a habit. We don't develop habits in our lives. I never knew this until I realized it with other things that I developed as a habit.
Yeah.
Now my parents used to be like go pray, go pray, go pray, and now I don't miss a prayer. Why? Because I did this for so long that it becomes a part of my life.
Ooh, I see, yeah.
So it takes our brain 22 days to kind of be like, okay, now this is a habit and you need to do this.
Oh, okay.
You know, so if I do the same thing every day, I will just continue doing it for the rest of my life.
All right. So if you are having trouble to pray on time, try to do it actively for 22 days.
20 days. Just give it a try.
20 days is all you need to
all
make
you need.
it.
Just give it a try and it will work.
Yeah.
Now, how did we go from Top Shop to this? Now, back to our topic.
Ooh, Top Shop to religion.
Yeah. And I started talking to them and we had this conversation. Now, what happened? What's more interesting what happened is that one of them was like, oh my God, how old are you? So back then I was like, I was 15.
Yeah.
He was like, just if you were 18, I would give you a job.
Ooh,
and he was very brutal to the point where he told me the how much he was willing to pay me for the job. And I was like, okay, I am 18. It was 7 million.
Wow, that's cool.
And that for what? But it is very tiring. He was like, no, you have to work شغل مصباح العشية, and they would like call you on like very random shifts, and you need to be there. Like you need to be there, but the payment is really cool. And it's the type of jobs that عندك هذاك سميك, I think they call it $1,800,000 tag, I guess that's what they call it. And but the more you work, the more you get money. So it's not fixed. We need you for like this amount of time. So you know, and a lot of job opportunities.
They're gonna come again when you're 18.
Exactly like that.
By the way, she's 16 now.
Yes.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. Don't get me started. Yeah, I feel like a lot of opportunities I've wasted because I'm not 18. And I feel like once I'm 18, all these job opportunities, and they're gonna be like, okay, goodbye, see you when you're like, you know.
If we have like a ratio of interestiness per age or per years lived. You're the most interesting person per years that I've had on my podcast.
Really?
Yeah. Well, if you were 28 and you were telling me all of these things,
yes,
I wouldn't be too impressed. But you're 16 and you're telling me all of these things. So I'm very, very impressed. I wasn't like you when I was 16. I was way dumber. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
Yeah.
So, I told you, learning a language, you don't realize this until these things start happening to you. It opens a lot of doors to you, and it opens a lot of opportunities. And what's more important than that is that I got to talk to an Indian person, and I understood each word. I was very confident. I was like, I'm very confident.
Yeah.
I have Indian friends on social media. I have two.
But it's not like in real life.
No, it's not like that.
I have a question. So you know many languages, and you're interested in many things, and you're quite clever, especially for your age, and you're quite aware of what's happening in the world, and I don't know, you're not stupid, right? Yes,
you're not stupid. That's the best compliment.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
How much of that is due to the internet?
How much is due to the internet? A lot of it.
Would you say that you would be at 100% of what you are now, or maybe 90%, maybe 50% of what you are now, if it weren't for the internet, if internet didn't even exist?
No, of course not. Let me tell you why. Not in terms of learning. For example, learning Hindi was not Indian. Don't ever say learning Indian, please. It's Hindi.
Really?
It's Hindi. Learning Indian is just like telling you, hey, do you speak American?
Oh, Indian is American.
What? Indian is So it's just like telling you, do you speak Algerian? It doesn't make sense because
I don't know
if you see this.
Could be Qbailiya, could be Tirkiya.
Yeah, exactly.
Arabiya,
it doesn't make sense because when I say Hindi, I mean Hindi, Nepali. It could be a lot of languages, and also it's just like telling you, do you speak a nationality? So this is what Hindi means in
So it's like saying, do you speak American?
American, exactly like that. Do you speak American? It's not a thing. Yeah. So it always bothers me that oh my god, you speak Indian.
Yes, so, there are so many Mexican people in America that it could be Spanish actually. American. Yeah.
Exactly like that. So I feel like I would have learned, for example, Hindi if not the internet, because it was actually movies, and I read a book about Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, and I was like, oh my god, how come I don't know anything about India? So I started to actually I was 9 years old.
But you see, you were 9 years old and you thought, oh my god, how come I don't know anything about India?
Yeah.
When I was 9 years old, I was like, oh my god, how come I haven't had tomatesh yeah. No, but not really that.
Yeah, I got your point.
But I did not have books when I was 9 years old.
Actually, when I was little, instead of going when we were in a supermarket, instead of going for the toys aisle, I'd always run to the books aisle. That's why my Arabic Fusha is really good.
Who is it?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Why do you think I'm studying journalism? No, I'm joking. But my Arabic Fusha is really good, even reading, writing, and when I started it when I was very little, it kind of develops more than anything else. For example, my English. That's why I don't know, my English is way better than my Hindi.
How come? Sorry.
So, for example,
what was the reason?
Because it is my mother tongue, but also because I started learning
What is your mother tongue? Arabic. Yeah. Okay.
But because I was very little.
Yeah.
When I started, I wanted to know.
Yeah. Arabic is not really your mother tongue.
Yes, it is
it's
not.
Darja,
it's
kind
Darja, yeah. But also, I don't know if you can completely say that because my siblings, for example, because of them watching the stupid cartoons, with all my respect, but cartoons in Arabic Fusha, they actually started speaking Fusha straight up Darja, just like that.
Oh, okay.
So they would say things in Fusha and I'd be like, sorry, what did you say? Very, not kind of heavy words, and I'm amazed.
Yeah.
So I feel like Arabic for
this is what you were talking about when you turn on a channel on at home.
Yes.
If it's an Arabic channel, your children are going to learn
exactly
that. Yeah.
just like that. So I feel like I worked a lot on it. I had like short stories when I couldn't even read. Can you imagine that? Like I couldn't read these, but I had them at home.
What did you do with them?
So I just like would open them and see the pictures every day, never get bored, until my dad one day was like, okay, here are the alphabets.
Yes.
And how
old were you? How old were you?
I think I think I was 4 when I was like able to read and write.
Ooh, and this is super early.
Super early, and my dad was like very proud of that. He would tell everyone that, like, Malak, جيبي لي تشوفي هذيك newspaper هكا قراي لهم. And I don't know if it's a gift, but like I'm very fluent when it comes to languages. I can like kind of absorb the accent, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, so my dad was always proud of that. It was his brag thing, you know, like read that newspaper. And so I started like with حروف تشكيل, and then my dad is like, okay, read. And just like that.
You know, if you read biographies of geniuses that have lived around the world, a lot of them have started reading and writing at the age of 4.
Really?
Yeah.
I think, that's, you know, it's also because of curiosity. I feel like curiosity and imagination are very important elements, and I have a lot of that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of that. Like if I imagine something and it sounds good for me, I don't like sleep until it's reality, you know, like so it's very powerful, this whole curiosity thing. That's why like you learn a lot of things. You should never lose you read the essay I wrote about
I don't remember everything about it,
but like I was always curious about everything. Like, why does this work like that? Why do we have this at home? What is this? You know, so that's how I started learning Hindi again, because of Mahatma Gandhi.
This is what we were talking about, right?
It's because of Mahatma Gandhi. I was like, oh my God, what a man. And I started like slowly kind of, I was amazed by the Indian culture, because I told you last time how very different people.
When you say Mahatma Gandhi, you mean Gandhi?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mahatma means the clean spirit. Now Mahatma Gandhi was one of Buddha followers, and which means he was actually a lawyer, I guess. Like he was a very educated man.
He studied in Britain.
Yeah, but like if you think of his clothes, very modest, right?
Yeah.
So he always had like a path in his life. He always had a perspective of how things should be. And all these very important values like modesty and knowledge, and he valued peace. It's actually I find it fascinating, because he was like, okay, I don't need a weapon, I don't need, you know, all I need is my thoughts, and you know,
he's considered one of the most successful fighters in modern era,
and he didn't use a gun.
He
probably didn't know how to use any tool, you see. And you know, like you see how he used to wear like this white a modest man. That's what we're talking about. Very modest person. And it's like amazing, really. And it's a role model for everyone in this world. Like you don't need to be, I don't know, you love India or something to find him.
This is the thing about Gandhi as a fighter. Lots of fighters who are very good at sword play, or like using a gun, etc. They do that to defend themselves, and they do that to survive in the end. But Gandhi was not afraid of dying. He
had a vision for his country. He wanted, even if he died, for a good purpose. So you know, again, like what we were talking about?
We were talking about how you started learning English. Hindi.
So then slowly I started like you know how when you watch something for you watch a movie twice, it's not like you watch it for the first time. You discover a lot of new details.
Right.
So same thing about the Indian culture. At first I was like, weird. A lot of colors, a lot of culture. This like a lot of, I feel like these are mixed languages. And then after like I don't know, after 3-4 years, I'm now able to kind of to see a movie without like watch a movie without like
without subtitles. Sorry? Yeah, continue.
Yeah, without subtitles, and it gives you a lot of confidence. And I swear to God, like even like you know how Arabic is very deep, like not Arabic we know, like the Arabic, I'm talking about real like Arabic from Nasr al-Jahili, for example. If I give you poetry from Nasr al-Jahili, you will not be able to understand a word.
And I never did. And when we studied it at high school, كنا نعربوها وكنا نشوفوش من البحر, but we did not really understand what he was talking about. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Now, even the songs, for example, a lot of people find Hindi songs like very bad, or like they don't even bother to listen to these. But let me give you an example about lyrics. So there's the song. It's called Edilhi Mushkil. It means my heart is in trouble. I can't even find a word to describe how he. Now here's the thing. He says, "Ye jism hi mera, or ye ruh bhi meri." लेकिन मेरा तो नहीं जितना उतना तेरी. What it means, okay, let me explain to you. It means this heart is mine, this soul is mine, this body is mine, this eyes are mine, like everything I own is mine, but it's not mine as much as it's the girl that I love like think. You know, it's like she owns. It's just like a way to say she owns. I did not get it.
Say it again.
Like, so what he says is ye jism bhi meri. Jism is jism, for example, like body. Just like this is Urdu, for example. Urdu is very close to Arabic, by the way.
What is Urdu? I never heard of it.
Urdu is the language they speak in Pakistan, which used to be India, Hindustan. Okay. So you know the Muslim part
of India.
Yeah. So what it means is this body is mine. And this heart is mine, and this soul is mine, but it's not mine as much as it is yours. Right. But when I say this now, it's normal. But the words, I can't even find words that are like synonyms of how he described that to the girl. Like, it's crazy. Poetry in India, in Urdu. When I say India, I mean all like Pakistan, India, all these. It's actually fascinating. It's crazy. You know, you can't like literally find the words, the synonyms to describe how beautiful it is. So it's very interesting. You have to like really understand the language and the deep meaning behind it, you know, to enjoy it. So at the start, I didn't really enjoy it, but now I'm very happy I discovered that part of it. شغل مالك لو كان ما تعلمتهاش نشوف something like in Hindi or Indian, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But now I understand, and that's the most important thing. So you're part of something, you know, beautiful.
I see, yeah. So you were gonna tell me a sentence in each language that you know.
Oh, let's go for something simple.
Start with French and Arabic and English.
Wait, I'm going to start with... No, I'm going to start with قبيلية. Why not?
All right.
Okay. زرت اللون اسمي ملك ساعة 16 جرام ريو. السلام عليكم اسمي ملك في عمري 16 سنة. What else? Hello, my name is Oh, you already guessed I speak English. I think you already guessed I speak English. So
it was pretty obvious.
Yeah. French. No, did I speak French?
You didn't say a sentence in French.
What do I need to say in French?
Whatever. Dis n'importe quoi.
L'expérience scientifique. Do you want me to talk about clonage la Dolly?
It was your essay.
It was my essay, yeah. I actually had to study the whole clonage thing in French. I was translating it at 1 a.m. Yes. I completely forgot about it, and I was translating it to French at that time. Yeah. So, yeah. And what else? I lost count. So, قبيلية.
We did قبيلية عربية, English,
English. और मुझे हिंदी बोलती हूँ. और नमस्कार, मेरा नाम मलक. और मुझे हिंदी बोलती हूँ. What else? Urdu is the same as Hindi in this part, except that it is more. How to say? It's, you know how it's American English with British English? Yeah. Now, Urdu is the British English.
Ooh, okay.
But like Urdu is more it has more words in it. For example, I tell you, Mera dish, Algeria. My country is Algeria. In Urdu, it's Mera mulk. Mera dish, Mera mulk. They have this Arabic touch.
So mulk is country.
Country, yeah. You can say dish, you can say mulk. And what's interesting is that if you tell this to an Indian guy, he will understand you. And if you tell this to an Urdu person, they'll understand you.
I see.
So it's very, you see, even though it's completely different. It's not accents, but it's completely different. And not everything is completely different. But like, as I told you, Urdu is like mixed with Arabic. Yeah. Like old Arabic. Can you imagine they say shatir? You know how we say shatir?
Yeah.
They say shatir. They don't have ta, so they say ta. And what it means clever. And it exists in Arabic.
Yeah.
In like old Arabic. So you see, it is very like interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I also speak a little bit of Italian.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. So
io parlo italiano.
Cool.
Yeah, a little bit. What do you say? Io leggo il libro. I read this book. This is not a book. This is, I told you, this is the Bible of my thoughts.
Is the Bible of your thoughts, yes.
I say this all the time. Well, actually, it's my my English teacher in middle school who said that. She read it. She was like, "Oh, this is the Bible of your thoughts." I was like, "Yes, okay. It is." Yeah. So these are the languages I speak. So if you count, it's قبيلية, عربية, French,
like 7 languages.
English, Hindi, Urdu, and Italian. 7.
What about dialect? Algerian dialect?
Yeah, I speak all Algerian dialects, even even Arab dialects.
That counts as a language. Darja. It counts as a language because it has many like.
Yeah, of course, Darja does count as.
Cuisina is not Arabic.
Cuisina is not Arabic. Torshi is not Arabic.
Torshi is not Arabic.
Yes. I believe it's Turkish. I heard that before.
Yeah.
Say it's Turkish.
Yes.
Now, our language, which is Algerian, is very rich. It's very different. You can like talk to people who are from Tunisia and they're like, what? Let's don't go to like Saudi Arabia and Jordan. Like they will not understand the word you're saying.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. Tell me more about your interest. We are still in the introduction, by the way.
Introduction.
Yeah. So tell me more about yourself. Like you told me the languages that you speak. You told me that you were into journalism. So what else are you into?
I'm into singing a lot.
Oh, right. Yes. So tell me about your singing journey so far.
Okay. So I don't consider myself a very good singer.
Okay.
Now, how everything started is I love music a lot. Like I'm the type of people that like when I walk out of the house, headphones and like good music quality, and this is how I
what are you listening to at the moment?
At the moment, actually, a little bit of everything. I don't have something like like when you tell me what is your but now actually Evanescence. I'm feeling her a lot.
Ooh, okay.
I love her a lot, and I feel like so it's that
you are going through a phase. This is your Evanescence phase, which happens to everyone.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone listens to Evanescence when they're 16, 17.
What do you, in terms of what do you mean?
It just means that you're going to listen to Evanescence when you're 16 or 17, whether you like it or not.
Really? I don't know. I know I've been listening to her for a long time. She has like some songs that I love, like My Immortal. I always come back to that song, no matter what. I'm like, it's like, the starting point, like you're in circles and you always end up coming back to Evanescence. This is like for me. I always come back to her. I love her music a lot. And I just listen to like I don't have I feel like I have a picky like style.
You don't listen to just anything.
But I'm not gonna listen to anything. But I'm not like very like I understand the music. I try to kind of taste it, so that like I don't just judge it from the first time, because there are a lot of songs that if you listen to once, or if you listen to when you are sad, or when you are feeling the song, it's quite different from when you're like, if you listen to My Immortal and I don't know, you are in a happy relationship with your partner, you're gonna be like, okay, whatever, turn this off. But if you like, you've gone through something, or you're like,
if you're single during Valentine's Day,
if you're single during,
it's perfect.
شرة مقصودة هاشتاج هذوك تاع Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly like that. So no, it doesn't have to be about like a lover, but like anything that happens to you in your life. I feel like music, you feel like you relate to it, you know. That's the most important thing. So it depends on my mood.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love listening to music a lot.
Yeah, so you were telling me also about your singing career.
Yeah, so I started like, and my dad used to tell me, your voice is not like
very good.
Very good
because
at
you're
all.
dead.
Yeah, my dad used to tell me that. And I used to be like very kind of, you know, when you want something so bad and you're like, no, I gotta be good at this.
Yeah.
Like no matter what. So then I started educating myself by myself about it a little bit. I learned some like breathing techniques and everything, and like warming up your voice is very important. And then I was just like singing all the time, and then I realized at some points, really, my voice is not that bad. It was just my dad. I think he was afraid I'm gonna become a singer.
Yeah.
You know, like Algerian dad mentality, like no,
yes.
my daughter,
yeah,
we're gonna be a singer. No, I feel like that's what it was. And then I joined a group. It's called Untitled Chapter. And
so you're in a band now?
Not anymore. You know, actually,
you're 16 years old, and you've already went through a band, and you're already broken up with that band.
Broken up. You know how the band is alright until two of the bands decide to fall in love, and then they would break up, and then you have to start taking sides.
Well, I'm sure Freddie Mercury relates. I guess people like that.
Totally. But you know, like what's the problem is that it wasn't our band. It was sponsored by like a woman that like was teaching us and instructing us. So it was heartbreaking that everything had to like stop because we had to take sides.
Because the band members were getting in relationships with each other and then breaking up.
And it was very bad, like, you know, it wasn't a work atmosphere. It wasn't a good atmosphere for like making music.
Yeah, I see.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. You could have made great melancholic music though.
Yes.
Yeah. And then what happened in your singing career?
And then I didn't talk a lot. And then I was just like training by myself. And you know what's the best thing in the world? Sometimes I used to like post little...
Coffee in the morning? Yeah. What is it?
Coffee in the morning, yeah, totally. Sometimes I would like post stories on my Instagram when I first started Instagram of me singing. And then after 2 days, someone would send me a message like, hey, can you send me a vocal clip of you singing? And I'm like, oh.
Ooh.
And it happens a lot.
They really do that?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, can you send me that video, like what? And once I deleted all my singing videos on Instagram, and I got like messages like, oh, where are they? I used to come back to these to listen to them sometimes. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet, you know. But like again, I don't see myself like as a singer because first of all, I'm not that good, so I don't have she's not that good in terms of someone that don't know nothing about music and is listening to me. But compared to the scene, because if you are just, and this is something I hate a bit, because once you know about the industry, you can be singing and someone like is like, oh my god, this is great, and I'm like, no, too much vibrato, man. You shouldn't have like, this is too much, you know. So you start kind of listening to them and be like, oh, so bad, like, oh my god, my vibrato is not good at all. And someone else is like, oh, this is cool, like this is amazing, but you judge yourself because you know, like, you know the rules, you know, like the rules you're breaking. So and what made me think I'm good now at music is that I never, if I want to cover a song, even if I'm singing it at home, I never leave it as it is. I always change it to what suits me. But like, I don't know, like I just love it. Expressing yourself through singing is amazing. Do you see yourself doing more in terms of singing in the future? I do, hopefully. Would you perform live, things like that? I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did a lot of times. And you know, the feeling it gives you, your entire body shaking before going on stage is the best feeling in the world.
Really? Some people are very, very uncomfortable with that.
The best feeling in the world, because once it's gone and going on stage is something like very normal to you, I feel like you don't enjoy it anymore. It's all about that excitement.
That
it's
rush.
all about that. Yeah, exactly.
You're adrenaline
like,
yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I'm going on stage, and then you're shaking, and you know, that's like, but you know, I'm shaking before going to stage. Once I'm there, I forget about everything.
Right. Yeah.
I just got my microphone and gotta perform and do
get
my
in
best.
The zone.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm in my zone.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. And other things that you're interested in?
Tell me. I'm thinking.
Things that you're interested in. I think you're right.
I write. That's what I was going to say. I write a lot.
You do that, right?
I started writing in Arabic a lot. So
recently, or you mean?
No. Ever since I started writing in Arabic, and I was in this competition called Qalam Dahabi, I guess, and I won it, and that was that gave me a lot of.
You won it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So first of all, it was like the school, and my essay was like the first, and I was like the happiest person ever. And then when it got to higher levels, it was even better. But you know what's the only problem with that was that the organization, again in Algeria, you know how it is, like
that bothers you a lot.
كتبته اليوم من العام باش يعيطوا لك. So that was like very you know. But anyways, so writing means a lot to me. So even when I'm mad, I write my thoughts, I feel better, you know. So when you write your stuff down, it feels so much better. And sometimes I write stuff, but I don't come back to them. And then when I read them, when I'm in another mindset, state or whatever, I'm like, wow, this is deep, you know?
Yeah.
So writing is like a mirror to your thoughts.
Yeah. Have you ever considered writing a book, for example?
Yes. Well, you know, I considered it because of a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
First of all, because I'd like to put a little bit of everything that I wrote in a book, because sometimes my thoughts are very unusual and different, and you know, so I want people to know about these, you know. I want someone to read this and relate to it, or read this and be like, oh, this is a different perspective, or oh, this is a different story. And also like I want like before I die, which I don't know is when, but like before I die, I want to leave something behind me like that. Hello, I was here, you know, I existed, and a book is like the best thing to do that, you know.
Yeah. True. Yeah. My what I'm gonna leave behind is the podcast.
The podcast. Yeah.
I can imagine. I don't know if I talked about this in the podcast before, but I have a grandfather. Who's the last grandfather alive that I have, and I know nothing about his life, like literally nothing. I don't know I don't know what he was doing at my age. I don't know how he was raised. I don't know whether he had parents or not. I know like literally nothing about him, and I don't think it's going to be the same for me unless some apocalyptic event happened in less than 50 years. But I'm pretty sure if I have grandchildren, they would be able to log into Instagram or YouTube and see whatever photo I was posting, and the podcast that I'm doing, and be like, hey, this is what our grandfather used to be into, and this is what he was. These are his comments on these are his comments on his time.
Yes.
Right. I don't know who. This is like a very respected philosopher. I always forget names.
Yes.
But he said like, to live is merely to be lived.
Yeah.
Like.
Yes.
Like,
exactly.
It's like, but to talk about what you live is. I forgot the. I'm gonna look it up. The quote.
Look it
to
up.
To live is merely. I hope I find it. Mandy Hale, I think. Mandy Hale? No. Never mind. I have to. It takes lots of time to look it up.
But exactly that's the point. Like you have to like leave something behind, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what my father's comments on whatever was happening in his time were.
Yes.
Like for example, I remember going with my father to the computer fair, and in 1998 or something. Right. I was very, very young. I was 6 years old, so not too young. So I was conscious about.
Oh, we're already in 2021. I was like, oh no, my god. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it was 1998, and the star of the event that year was the Apple computer, the comeback of the Apple computer, and a huge queue was happening just to like use it and try it out.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember that event, and I remember my father was being like, "Hey, the queue is really huge, so never mind." But I really wonder whether he even had a comment on that computer, whether that computer is good or bad, things like that. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I see the older generations, and they're like so passive. Right. They are so extremely passive.
Yes.
And I don't think we are. For example, one day I had bought a new lens for my camera, and my father saw it and he was like, "Oh, you have a 200mm lens. I used to have a 200mm 10 lens too." And I was like, "You never told me about this. Like, you know that I am really interested in this kind of stuff. And how come I haven't inherited it?"
Yeah.
You know, I would have used it.
Actually, I feel like because of
excuse me, and how come I haven't seen any of the photos that
you took
with it? Right. Yeah.
And I feel like one of the advantages I have is that my relationship with my parents are like a bit like a friendship.
Your parents are a bit younger.
Younger, and also no, but here's the thing, bit younger, but also that I'm the oldest like sister.
I'm the oldest too.
No, but here's the thing, you didn't raise up 3 children, excuse me. Like they give me this they give me this advantage. Like for example, me and my mom, okay, in some situations we have to be like mom and daughter, but most of the time we're friends.
You're like friends. But I don't think
so. Like ask them. Like I had the courage to ask my dad, how did you meet my mom?
But
they told me.
I think most girls can ask that to their dad. But here's the sad thing. I don't think my father or my grandfather would have been mates of mine if I lived at the same time as them.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been interested in hanging out with them. This is what I'm talking about.
Totally, yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So because they were so passive about things, like what if I started talking to my friends about this lens that I recently bought? And they're so not interested. And this is what I really don't like about their generation.
So this is true. And like even my dad told me like, oh, I used to listen to like Michael Jackson and Queens. And I was like, Dad, you used to listen to English?
Music?
You know, English music? And like, oh, rock? Oh, really? Did you? And he's like, yeah, of course. And like on the radio, he's like singing to some song. And I'm like, Dad, really? Wow, this is amazing, you know? It's true, like they don't tell you. But I feel like it's a part of the parenting mentality. Maybe, tiny bit. Yeah. Like, you know, but you feel like it is the right thing to do. But
I don't think it is the right thing to do.
It's not, of course, but like I feel like it's somehow...
like
a part of
especially when you're like 28, you don't need a father or a mother anymore. Like, to be honest, you do need parents. You do need the mother and the father, but most of the time you're not gonna depend on them, right? You don't need them to educate you,
exactly, like
because
that,
you're already whatever you are right
in the world.
Yes. So whatever next is going to happen between you and them is friendship. Right.
Yeah.
Is hanging out around the dinner table. Yeah. So if you're gonna not talk about anything interesting on the dinner table, we aren't going to have any relationship. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yes. I don't think that's going to be the case with me and my even grandchildren. Like, if my grandchild doesn't takes off his arm and put a bionic arm instead of it, to be like tougher or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, you know, in 1996, I used to watch a movie about that. And now I see this, and these are my comments about
and
this.
you're not gonna tell them بالكم انا كنت نروح نقرا في البيس 3 سوايع باش نوصل وكيما كيجي البيس كنت شتا تصب علينا والغرقه معليش كنت نمشي بالحفا باش نوصل.
لا واحد النهار قصتني نحله before it went extinct.
Yeah, oh my god. No, we wouldn't be alive.
I saw a tiger.
This theory. I saw a tiger, yeah. Oh, there's this story, very like I don't know if it's true, but they keep saying it in my family. So I'm from Ganzat, if anyone knows it. It's in Stif, but like Qbail, which I don't know, doesn't make sense for a lot of people. So there's a story of one of my grandchildren killing a lion that was about to kill a woman. So what happened?
Your grand
I don't know grand how much. No. Father killed a lion.
Okay.
Because he was gonna kill a woman, something like that. Okay. You know. So the family of the woman would give us presents each year, and it's still a thing.
No way.
And it's still a thing. Now, when my last grandmother and grandfather passed away, not grandfather and grandmother, my grandfather's grandmother and grandfather passed away. They started giving these gifts to
what kind of gifts? To who?
Anything. To now they're giving them to. So they keep giving them to the family.
Okay.
But they're still in Ganzat, and now they give them to like I'm Papa.
Okay.
Who's you know still
who's the
there.
Oldest in
who's
the family?
Still there? Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
So yeah, they would give
what
it to
kind
him.
of gifts?
Like, you know, the gifts like you would give to, I don't know, like...
Would they give like an iPad or an iPhone or something like that?
No. Not like that. Not like that, no. Like, for example, like, you know how they'd give food and lipsa and, you know, stuff like that. Algerian sabun. You know, anything like that to keep the tradition.
That's so cool.
And I wouldn't believe
like
that. I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't believe that if not the gifts.
Did that woman have children? The woman who was saved?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
so
she had a family.
Well, when he saved her, did she have those children yet or not?
I'm not sure. I don't...
If she didn't, well, a few generations are alive because of that. Because of him saving her. Yeah, exactly. Because if he didn't save her, she wouldn't have had her children.
Yeah.
Or her grandchildren. Or
to give our family presents each year.
Yes.
Which is crazy. Like, yeah.
This is one of the most interesting stories I've ever heard.
No, I know. Every time they tell me, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So if we weren't that advanced, maybe can I need to somewhere killing lions, you know, to save people. It's in my genes.
Yeah, that would be very cool. I can imagine your outfit with Laputa
lion.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, tell me about, you have this project that you're about to do. So I was going to ask you about your projects. Bro, I feel like it's going to take 3 hours to answer the whole question.
I feel like we didn't talk about anything. I feel like...
Yeah. Tell me about the project where you were supposed to invite me or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I told you guys I'm studying in WBC. So I'm going to get my diploma in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And once I do, there's a project. We're going to start making episodes about the name of the show, it's LGT, Let's Grow Together. It's about inviting interesting people and talking about something well, usually I'm quite sure it's always going to be about like Algeria, education, technology in Algeria, you know. I'm quite sure this most of the episodes about and like I feel like it's an opportunity to me, first of all, because I want it to be in English.
Okay.
I want to influence, like...
So what do you want it to be in English? What is this project about? What is it?
Like, it's a show.
It's a show.
Okay. Yeah, it is a show.
Okay.
So I want it, like, to be in English because, you know how... our generation needs that. I don't know. I feel like we need to communicate more with the other side of the world.
Yes. So
which and it would be easier. English is like the easiest language
a lot of time I want to share my podcast with foreigners. Yeah. And I'll be like, okay, I speak too much Arabic here, and I can't really find a podcast where I speak fully in English. Yeah. I think this is the first podcast where I fully speak English.
Yes,
almost.
Totally.
Yeah.
So So yeah, basically I want it to be with subtitles like Arabic, so that you can be like watching and learning at the same time. So you're learning and then you're learning and then you're learning, you know.
Yeah.
So I find it really interesting that they offered me this opportunity, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna waste this opportunity.
Yeah.
And you know, I hope it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So what are you going to talk about, and what kind of show is it going to be?
Now, what kind of show is it going to be? It's going to be a talk show.
Okay.
And as I told you, like the topics are going to be always like about growth, whether in a field or like personal growth or anything like that. It's all about that.
Yeah,
you know?
I see. So you're gonna have guests?
Yes, of course.
I will be the first one, right?
You'll be the first one.
Oh,
yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
So there's something we call the episode 0, which me and you are going to do in the studio of there, like which is not a very planned one. So just to see how things are going to go. And then there's episode number 1, which is we're going to do same me and you, but like in like a studio, like another setup, which is set up for like a show.
So you're going to do like 2 episodes.
Yeah, the first one is not like no stress,
shared, yes.
no, you know.
Yeah.
So the first one is like just like to see how things will go, and this is what we call episode 0. There's something we call ورقة الطريق. It's basically how all the show is going to go. I'm not going to use that at all. I know they already know. All of them, they're like, we know you're not going to use this at all. But it's all about like the timing, what you should talk about. You know, it's kind of more planned.
Yeah, I see. Malak, it's getting pretty late.
Yes.
So I need to get you home. Your father didn't call.
Didn't call,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope you don't get smacked.
No, I hope I don't. I hope I don't.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming. There is going to be a part 2 of this.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we didn't talk about anything.
Yeah,
I feel like we
even started.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to do like in the future, we're going to do a podcast where we comment about things.
Oh,
yeah, like this is what's happening in the world.
This is what's happening in the world.
What do you think about that? Right.
I have a lot of opinions to give.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for that. So, Malak, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was super, super great.
You too. Thank you so much for having me. And I enjoyed this a lot. You know, it's like our normal daily conversations, but then in a podcast.
With microphones, yes.
Yeah, with microphones. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Goodbye.
Bye, goodbye.
Bye-bye.